Hey guys, Vinny and David here with Supreme Sports. Today we wanted to talk about politics and sports. What are your thoughts on it? What are our thoughts on it? In this case, more importantly, because we're the ones making the video. And
True that.
really, if it has a place in sports. Which we may have a little bit of differing opinion on this. Generally, we tend to agree on things, but this is...
I think we overall agree on political views. I think it's more like people in sports using their platforms for politics, but yeah, we'll get into it here in a minute.
Alright, well, my opinion honestly is I don't think politics really should have that much place in sports. Yes, use your platform outside of your game and whatnot when you're not technically like on the clock. You still have that platform. Your platform isn't going anywhere. Like, especially if you're someone like LeBron James, that's not going anywhere. But for the love of God, also educate yourself before talking about it, because I don't think the beautiful thing about America is everyone should have freedom of speech, everyone should have freedom of expression. However, if you have the platform that LeBron James does, or Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, those superstars, or people in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes, those guys, please educate yourselves before opening your mouth and having millions of people blindly follow you like sheep, because you don't know the harm you can do by spreading misinformation. Now, I'm not saying I'm right on everything, but I'm pretty sure I've done more research and I'm more informed on these matters than these athletes that tend to speak on it. I don't think they should necessarily shut up and dribble, but I also think prior to talking about these matters, they should also educate themselves, so not only do they not cause harm, but they're also more credible.
Yeah, I mean, the way you said that, pretty much agree with most of it. I mean, we tend to have the same political views. I think we're both pretty conservative. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind if they use their platform to share their political views, and even if they're like during the game, because at this point it's not really just them, it's the whole NBA or the whole whatever sport they're in.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going against any guidelines at this point to share their views, because every sport is basically gone with their views at this point.
Yeah.
The only thing with me is I just don't like how if all the stars or most of like the world, or at least like social media, is pointing something out as like a bad thing, or I would say just like pushing their own narrative, I guess, agenda, and basically trying to get all these athletes and celebrities and whatever to join them so that they can push their agenda further. I don't mind everybody sharing their opinions, as long as it's their opinions and not ones that...
Of these corrupt politicians that...
You want me to finish?
No. Of these corrupt politicians that offer money probably to these athletes to essentially endorse them.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe...
Did I get that right?
No, you didn't let me finish. Now I forgot where I was going. So, what I was saying was, I would just, same thing. Just do your research. I don't care if you share your views on social media, if you share it during games. I mean, I guess you can't do it during games, but like before games and after games, during like your press conferences or your interviews. I don't mind any of that. Just make sure like you're aware of what you're saying and what harm it could cause, and just educate yourself before you share your views. Doesn't mean we have to agree on everything, and I don't agree with shutting up and dribbling, but just educate yourself before you say anything. I think that pretty much covers it.
And again, I guess we're agreeing a little bit more than I thought on this, but us being immigrants ourselves, us being Armenians, we have famous athletes that bring attention to the war that happened in Armenia last year, what's happening right now, the Armenian genocide a little over a decade ago, and trying to bring recognition to that. We don't think athletes should shut up and dribble or should shut up and wrestle
because they're exercising their freedom of speech too.
Yeah. However, we think that these things that they put out there, not only should they be researched, should they be credible, these athletes should be well informed,
and
they should also be the opinion or the viewpoint of these athletes, not because these politicians told them to do so, not because of all these things, because let's be honest, whether, as much as our views are a little bit more conservative, whether left or right, the government doesn't have our best interests at heart. We have our best interests at heart, and we have to take care of ourselves. We can't be codependent on the government. We have to be more independent and get our shit done by ourselves, because no one else is going to wipe our ass for us. We have to wipe our own ass.
Yeah, another thing to add to that as well too, and somebody who shares their opinion who's different, like a celebrity or whatever, with that, the opinion is different than most everybody else's, I don't think they should be criticized or just like fired from their jobs or just anything like that because they have a different opinion. You can disagree with the person as much as you like, but you have to let them exercise their freedom of speech as well too. It doesn't matter if you don't like it, as long as it's not like actual like hate speech, or it's not actually like you can tell that it's racist and they mean it with like a ill intent. They should be able to share their opinion as well too, as long as they're reasonable and they've done their own research as well too, I think.
Yeah. And we wanna, whether athlete or someone walking down the street, we want to get back to the days where, whether you believe in one thing or another, we can have a civil conversation together, and at the end of the day, leave that aside and still be civil and be friends with these people, because the whole idea and the whole way a society grows and evolves and becomes better is with different ideas. You don't improve on something when everyone comes up with the same idea. That's just dumb. If you do the same thing over and over again and expect different results, I think I've read that plenty of places. That's the definition of insanity. And we don't want to be an insane society. We want to be a well-educated, a civil society. And whether you have certain viewpoints on one thing or another, that shouldn't matter on how you treat the people next to you. So I don't know. That's my view. You heard his view. I don't know if you have anything to add on to that, but I don't get the whole idea of bashing on this great country, where not only is half the shit that they say about it not true, because a lot of the people born here and raised in the States take everything here for granted. We come from a third world country, essentially. We come from a country that used to be in the Soviet Union, country that went through communism and got out of communism, and we know the toll that it takes on the country, and it's not one that we want to see here, because it essentially it deprives the country of so many freedoms that a lot of you take for granted on a day-to-day and think, oh, nothing's gonna happen to it, we're just making a minor change here, a minor change there. Soon enough, all those minor changes are gonna add up, and shit, you're not gonna have anything. You're not gonna have your freedom of speech, you're not gonna have your self-defense, and who do you have to thank for this? You're gonna have to thank, let's see, social media for pushing these things, these athletes for spreading misinformation.
I don't think it's necessarily like most athletes. I don't know all of them what their agendas are, but I think most athletes, they go off kind of what social media pushes, and they don't know. They don't think.
I don't think I don't think it's as much social media as it is their social circles, because they may have people in their circles that have connections to, even though they may not have connections to certain politicians, they have people in their social circles that have connections to these politicians that influence these people, and then in turn these people influence these athletes, and it's just like a cycle. But I know LeBron, he has a relationship with Gavin Newsom. He's the governor of California, and
I don't really look into that stuff that much, but you kind of touched on this just like on your last monologue that you went on, or whatever it was. This is kind of where we disagree a little. I think he was trying to reference the fact when they kneel during the national anthem. He doesn't really agree with that very much. I think it's still technically them exercising the freedom of speech. I don't really agree with the reason why they do it, especially since Kaepernick is the one who started as well too, and he kind of did all that, I feel like, just to get attention once he started playing.
I'm a 49ers fan.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't know shit about anything.
And then he wore a Castro shirt and pig socks.
Who the hell supports Fidel Castro and thinks they're for equality? That's communism. Shit, I just said that's not a good idea.
Let me go. So, what I was saying is we don't necessarily agree on, he thinks they shouldn't be able to kneel during the national anthem. I don't think there's a problem with it as long as the NBA is not like, hey, you're not playing anymore because you did it. But I don't necessarily agree with them kneeling, or
I don't
the
think
reason why they're kneeling.
I don't think it's as much.
I don't care.
I don't think they should be able to. I don't think they should.
Yeah, I mean, that's
because
again, that's their freedom of speech in a sense, but
yes, it is, and that's the beauty of this country, which is why you kneel for the flag of this great country, and you still have a job to go back to. Kaepernick just sucked ass. That's why he didn't have a job to go back to. So I don't want to hear any of you say, "Oh, he's an NFL level quarterback." No, he's not. He would cause division in the locker room, and he has no skill set, no talent to fall back on. The whole NFL figured him out, so he can't use his athleticism, which I don't know how much of it he has left, to do anything, because he can't throw for shit. No accuracy, and whatever he throws is overpowered. So it either bounces off someone or it's just goes whoosh.
The only thing with that is, yeah, Kaepernick is shit, and he should not be in the NBA or NFL. He definitely should not be in the NBA. But he shouldn't be. But I think Eric Reed was not signed after that as well too, because he kneeled as well too.
Eric Reed was signed.
Did he get signed?
Yeah, he went to the Panthers too.
Oh yeah, he did. Did he play? That was like a couple years after.
He played for a couple teams, but Eric Reed fell off he kind of fell off as well. He had a good year. He had a good year or two, and then he started declining. And I'm not saying Eric Reed did it because he was declining, because I think Eric Reed...
No, Eric Reed was good whenever he did it. That's why I kind of respect him more. Kaepernick started the whole thing whenever he was already playing like crap, because he wasn't doing that when he was in the Super Bowl. He wasn't doing that when he was in the Pro Bowls. He just started doing that after. But Eric Reed, he did it when he was good. But I think he was just because I think they were teammates at that time, so I think he was just following.
And Malcolm Jenkins and all those guys, and I know a lot of those players had a falling out. They had disagreements.
Yeah.
But as you can see, even people within like-minded communities, they have disagreements on things too, and then they have a falling out, and then they might not support that cause because other people do that they don't agree with.
Anyway, you have anything else to add?
No, I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think politics should be in sports? Do you think they shouldn't, and players shouldn't be allowed to do it? Do you think they should just not do it just as a result of their own free will? Or do you think they should do it, they should protest these unjust killings, if you guys think that's what they are?
I mean, there are some, but it's
and I agree. Which one was it?
Derrick George Floyd. That one was pretty unjust.
I know. I thought so. At first I thought that one was unjust, but the different camera angles and then just seeing the full video.
It's not the fact that he did that,
and then also the fact that he was on so many drugs.
I understand he was a criminal and he had drugs in the system. But the cop, I think, was just dumb. I think the cop should have just been arrested for like a certain amount of time just because he's dumb. Even if they're not really, like, if they can't breathe and they do think they're lying to, just put him like to lean him against the car or something, just so, hey, you're not looking bad. Why are you putting your knee on him for, even if it was on your back?
You say that, but there's so many times that cops.
Yeah, but he was handcuffed.
And then he rolled himself out, and there's been plenty of other times where people have been handcuffed and still managed to hurt cops. The reason why I say that is because there's been plenty of cases where they cry wolf and then they end up pulling something out or doing something, either stabbing a police officer or shooting them, kicking them, ramming into them, and then trying to make a run for it. A lot of these times, it's a fight or flight situation. You don't know. He might have made a mistake, he might have not. I'm not gonna be the one to judge it. My opinion is that I don't think he should have been convicted because of the additional proof that came out originally with what was available. He looked completely guilty.
I think he might still get off because one of the jurors got caught. Apparently, he has like his own podcast, and he took a picture with like a Black Lives Matter, like a sweatshirt. And apparently, in this podcast, he seemed very biased. So I think they're going to appeal for mistrial. I don't know if they've already did it or not, but he might still get off. I don't think. Maybe he should not be getting that big of a sentence, but I think he should get some sort of sentence. We don't necessarily just like agree on that part completely, but we can still have a conversation on it and still be like civil. But yeah.
But the other one was I completely forgot that guy's name is the other cop who mistook gun for a taser.
Oh.
That one was just dumb.
Yeah, she I think she got fired.
She
apparently wasn't forced for like 28, 29 years or something, and I think that was the first time she made a mistake. But apparently, so I don't know how it is in every state, but I don't know if anybody watches the Tatum Report, Officer Tatum. He used to be a cop, so he knows a lot about that kind of stuff. So I like to watch his videos on this kind of stuff. He said the taser is supposed to be, or the gun is supposed to be on the opposite side of your dominant hand, and she had them both on the same side, which is a big no-no because obviously you can, like she did, she mistook her taser for her gun, and in the tense moment like that, you're not really thinking about, oh look, let me grab, whatever weapon it is. So that's why I think they purposely have it set up that way so you can go across your body to grab a gun. Or I don't know if it's the other way around for the taser.
You can see that there's precautions being made. All of you crying to defund the police, you're idiots. If anything, they should fund the police more so you can get what you want. So they can be more trained.
Yeah.
So they can
I
make
agree.
better decisions. You have it all backwards.
Yeah.
And
police
a
are
lot
not
of you
gonna help
are
anything.
too stubborn and too ignorant, too self-righteous to see that. And if you don't see that, and if you don't change your attitude, and we don't unite on a lot of these things, and I know we completely went off topic as far as politics and sports,
and just went straight to politics, but yeah.
but if you guys don't see that, if we don't unite, whether athletes or people walking down the street, then we ain't going nowhere as a society.
Yeah, I agree. If you want the cops to be better, they're not necessarily doing bad, but I think there are some situations where they could do a lot better. I don't think defunding the police is going to help anyone. Because what are you going to do if the police are not there? You're going to call a social worker? I don't think the social worker is going to be able to help if they're being shot at.
Yeah.
I think they just need to be trained a lot better. Some of them are trained really well and they've had a lot of experience. That's probably one of the reasons why they're very good at their job. But
by your logic, doctors should be going to prison for all their medical malpractice, for all the people that they kill. Because let me tell you, they kill a lot more people
at the end of the day
basis than police officers do.
At the end of the day, I don't think you can take a whole group of people in a certain occupation and tell them, say they're all corrupt, because I agree there are bad people in the world, but you can't just be like, oh, all cops are bad, all doctors are bad. There's bad people in every profession, in every walk of life. You just need to stay away from those people if you can, and judge everybody equally and off of what they do and not what you think of them just by a first glance.
That's like us saying all Turkish people and all Azerbaijani people are genocide deniers. Which
most of them are that I met.
Heat of the moment, that's something we might think, and I'm not going to justify that because, again, even though that's what we think, it doesn't make it right. But there are some that it's something that we as a society should work on, because during the Armenian genocide, there were a lot of Turkish people that risked their lives and saved Armenian families, and even lost their lives in doing so to make sure that they survive or make sure that they protect them, because they weren't racist, they weren't xenophobe, they didn't wish to ethnically cleanse Armenians. Like I said, we come from a culture, we come from a race that sees some shit and continues to see some shit.
Yeah,
so,
if it wasn't for America, if we didn't get lucky and our parents were able to come to America, we might not even be alive.
Yeah.
We might have fought in the war and died, or something might have happened.
Yeah.
But,
those of you who take this great country for granted, change your shit. And the athletes that you watch, I love them as much as the next person, in the sense of I love watching them play. But
I don't take everything.
Take everything they say with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Don't take it at face value.
Just look at everything. Don't look at how they word everything. Look at everything with your own mind and make your own decisions without letting anybody from the outside sources influence you.
Because if we stop critically thinking here in America, then the rest of the world is going to critically think circles around us. Because we're just getting dumber. And every other country's getting smarter, more intelligent, getting more advanced. And here we are crying about, what is it? Someone being called the wrong pronoun.
He, she, what
If that's a discussion you want to have, you're more than welcome to have it. But if we were to get into a war and someone called you the wrong pronoun and you went and cried and got shot because of that, we got a lot of work to do.
Agreed.
Anyway, we are Supreme Sports.
And we got off topic.
This was a little off topic, but it's something that we wanted to get off our chest, and every now and then we'll talk about this because the world is a shit show right now. But thank God we have things like sports and entertainment to allow us a few hours a day to escape these realities, to escape what's going on in the world. And a lot of people turn to these things to escape reality, which is another big reason why I don't think politics should play a huge role during the games, during sporting events. Which, like I said, do it on your own time, do it outside of these events. But a lot of people go to these sporting events. A lot of people are stressed out over so many different things. They go to these things to relax, to escape what's happening in the world. And it'd be nice if they didn't have to deal with it 24/7. Peace.